All right, so good afternoon, everybody. Today is Wednesday, the 9th day of April 2025. Hopefully, the audio is going to get recorded properly and all that stuff. And I know you don't see the chart right now, but that's because it's back here. Here it is. Okay, so now you should be looking at the chart, right? Yes. All right. So, things I wanted to talk about today. There were a couple of things. One was the swing trade beta stuff. Okay, this is a 1 minute chart right here. But with the beta the swing trade stuff, depending what market you're doing it on, this is for an ETF, right? It has TVT, swing trade ETF, SETF, and see if it generated. Here's a signal that it generated a few minutes ago. Okay, a few minutes ago it generated this signal. If you click on the signal over here, it's going to bring it to the time frame and everything where it was generated. All right, so it generated a signal here a few minutes ago on the 100 range. It just generated one here a minute ago on the 100 range. I just did the 100 range, and I did a smaller one. I did a couple of smaller ones just so that you guys could see the signals that are being generated. All right. The idea is to have it run on a larger time frame, like at 500 range. All right, so you'd get a signal and just trade in that direction. The stop, the information that it gives you in the signal is going to be, you see right here, if you read that little bit right there, how to set the alert for the beta trigger. I haven't created the alert for the beta trigger yet, Wayne. So no, I'm not going to set that for you yet. I'm not going to show you how to set that yet. But when I do create it, then I will show you. Okay, but the information that I want to put in this, like right here, it says the, well, if we click on this, it's going to bring us back to the, should bring us back to the 100 range for the sell. And what it's going to show you is that the sell is going to be down here at the bottom, and it's going to give you a target and a stop. The stop and target stuff isn't right yet. Ideally, what it looks for right now, the stop and target stuff, is it looks for these things. Okay, so this would look down here for the target, and it would look up here for the stop. Now, obviously, that's not going to work out. So the stop would be just a little bit above the bar that got you into the trade, and you'd be looking for a target down here. Now, I'm going to work on that to make it better. The beta for the swing trades is not ready to go yet. All right, I want it to be really good before you guys get it. Even in the beta version, I want it to be better than it is. But this is what it looks like here, right? This is on 100 range, and so the QQQ, these, usually you don't get this many trades in a day. I was looking at it on a 500 range, and usually you don't get that many trades in a day. But something happened here recently, and you see all these trades that happened today. There's a bunch of them that triggered today. And every one of those trades worked out. Even this one, it went down about 400 ticks right there before it came back up. And that's the idea. So the information that it's going to give you, is that what it was, tariff relief? Okay, I figured is it real this time, or is it fake? If you look at this on a 30-minute, well, not so much this, but if you look at something like the NQ on a 30-minute, or the ES on a 30-minute, where is it right now? It was way up there. Let's get that on a 30-minute really quick. 13 minutes. Here it is. Yeah. Okay, that big move up right there from 1 o'clock. I knew something had happened. But anyway, let's focus on what we're focused on. Okay. If you have not taken a free trial of this, I usually start right out with this. If you haven't taken a free trial, go here to tvtrades.com. And on this page, this is what was up at the beginning. Just click on one of the orange buttons. It's going to be down to the bottom. It's $25 a week, or $90 a month, or $9.97 a year. This is the one that most people are doing. A lot of people start out with this and then they move to this. If you want to just skip that, because it's more expensive. This is the most expensive way to weekly. I mean, it's only $25 a week, so if you want to get your feet wet for $25, then do that. But this is one that most people are on. This is the best deal. This is the one that most people are on, and this is where some people are starting out before they move to the monthly. All right, back here. So the idea of the swing trade, the notion is that it's going to give you an opportunity to get into a trade once or twice a day, usually. All right, now these are not normal times. This day right here, not normal times, because when the tariff relief stuff that you guys are talking about came out, that one huge candle at 1300, You know, we had one trade right there until 1300 right here, and then bang, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 trades. And every one of those ended up being a winning trade. Every one of those is on a 500 range. So every bar is $5 for the QQQ right here. Every bar is $5, and every one of those trades ended up working out. Now, I'm doing it on the QQQ because the swing trades, I want those to work for ETFs. I want them to work for regular stocks. I want them to work like all the stocks have had the snot beat out of them last week. You know, they should probably be running right now too. I imagine a little bit. Nope, not really. But you see, the idea is that the swing trades would work no matter what. This is $5. Each one of these is $5 for Apple. So you get an indication to go short right here. Now, if you got that indication to go short, there's different ways that you can play this. I mean, you could do it with the actual equity. You could actually sell the. I mean, well, you could sell short the equity if you want to, I suppose. But you could buy puts right here. Right? If you want to play options, you could buy puts right there, and cash them in right down here. Same thing here, down to there. Same thing here, down to there. You see, so there's a lot of different ways that you can use this information. I haven't done anything on the whole option side of things in a while. I can go into that, but I really want to get this stuff straightened out first, and then the other beta stuff, I got to finish that up too. But look at the numbers down here from the beta triggers down here. 230. Well, those are cents down there when you're talking about Apple. That's like $2.36, $2.71, $2.44. Excuse me. Sorry, I'm choking. But that was one of the main things that I want to show to you guys. It's something that I've been working on for a while, but I keep getting, last week I had to go to the funeral and all that stuff, and I didn't get back from that until Sunday. And there's always something else that's going on. So I'm trying to bring you guys the best stuff that I can bring to you as quickly as I can in a way that won't inundate you with information and just give you too much so that you're all confused. So the way that this is going to work out, this is going to be a simple process. See, I have it set as an indicator up here, but I'm not sure I'm going to give you an indicator for it. I might just have it trigger into a Telegram channel. Okay, I already have a Telegram channel set for it. There's already stuff triggering into the Telegram channel, as a matter of fact, right now. This is it right here. These are different criteria that create these swing trades, but these are all triggering and going into the Telegram channel right now. All these different signals. And these are swing trade signals that you could use too, but I think the swing trade signals that I'm going to generate from this stuff that I've created is better. So I really want to give you guys, the best. I always say I hope to do it by next week, and I really do hope to do it by next week. I hope to do it before next week. I hope to do it over the weekend. I don't have any funerals to go to this week. I don't have any crises that I know of. I'm knocking on wood. That I know of this week, that are coming up. No birthdays, no anything. So hopefully I'll be able to get some work done this weekend. And it could be as soon as the end of the weekend, Masood, that I'd be able to get this done. Again, the idea is not necessarily that it's going to be another indicator for you to put on your charts. All right, it'll be something that I could build it into one of the other indicators. I could build it into like this because it uses signals out of this. It doesn't trade exactly based upon the signal that you get here. It actually looks at when it crosses the middle. Okay, yeah, another indicator is okay for you. I'm sure you think that way. But every time I make another indicator, then everybody has to get access to it. And that means I have to do. It's a lot of work for me. So the fewer indicators, the fewer individual things, in your invite only section, the better. Like, you don't need to have all these things. You need to have, like, this one right here. This is eventually going to go and become part of the range trigger. Okay, eventually that's going to go away and become part of the range trigger. And then the range trigger is right here, and the range trigger could contain the swing trade stuff. I could put it right in there inside the swing trade stuff right there inside the range trigger, so you all get access to it at the same time. Once I'm satisfied with the way that it is, you'll all get access to it at the same time, and I won't have to go in and recreate everybody's ID and do all that stuff because that is really time consuming. And when people get fussy if somebody's got it and somebody else doesn't, and And it's, it's usually because I can't be everywhere doing everything at the same time. I try, but I can't. But what do you think? This is basically what it looks at, right? And right now the stops and targets are looking at the swing highs and lows. That's what these dots are right here. Now I made that part of some other indicator that I created. Oh, I know you guys don't have access to that one either. It's part of the thing that sends out the information to Telegram. Okay, but every one of these bars is $5, right? So right here you got that indication to go short. There's $5, about 10, $12 right there. So that's, given the price of this, that's between 5 and 10% gain right there in that one trigger. And it did that twice on Monday. No, once on Monday and once on Tuesday. If you're playing options on that, that is a lot more than 5 to 10%. If you get like a $10 move on a stock like that, it'd be like a 50, 60% gain with options. It could be even more, depending on where you trade them. I won't get into that right now. That's a whole other subject. But does it work on Tesla? Of course it works on Tesla. TSLA. Of course it works on Tesla. Now Tesla is 255, so yeah, you see, same stuff. Right there, you'd be buying Tesla right there, you'd be buying calls right there. Bink, you would have bought calls right here. And this is all today. So you would have bought, well, right here at the very beginning at the open, if you bought a put, you would have wanted to get out of it right here while it still has some value when you got the long trade, when you got the call right there. Get out of it right there, then maybe get out of that one right there, and then not do anything. So you had a little bit of transaction rate in there, a little transaction cost, but you probably didn't lose much in value. And then when you get over to here is where you would have had some value gained right there. Okay, I'm working on making it so you won't have these back and forth like this, one right after the other. Most of them would be like this for the Teslas. And you're either going to make it or you're not. The stop value would be, when price gets up above this level right here, if you were doing options, if, like, let's say you had bought some puts right here when you got this, and you saw price get up above this level, still bail out of the puts there while you still have some value in them. That's how you would play it with the puts. Okay. Wait, there's a couple of questions coming in. Is the beta set available to you yet? This beta down here is available to you. This is not. All right, I'm still working on this one, but this one down here is available to you guys. Kevin, I think you have access to that, don't you? This one down here. And how do you decide what range bars to use for each stock? I look at the price of the stock. All right, if it's like 200 or above, you can usually use a 500 range, 100 range to 500 range, depending how much volatility there is. Some stocks, they might be priced 200, but they don't have any volatility at all, so you're not going to get any movement on the 500 range. You have to put it on something that's going to give you some sort of movement. Do you know what I mean? And these black arrows on the chart, these right here, are using this. All right, if I shut this off, then I meant to shut that off. How do I shut it? There it is. Those are from there. All right, I don't have them turned on down here. You can turn them on down here, and that's going to give you more indications. Okay, but that's not what we're doing right now. That's not what I want to show you right now. I will show you that because I just got a question from Rico to go over that stuff too. But the stuff that I'm showing you right here was the swing trade stuff. All right, and I've been working on that, and I've been telling you guys I'm going to get it out to you, and I really am. I just wanted to show you where I am with it. Okay, and you can put it on any stock that you want. Any stock that you want. Like, you guys give me a symbol, and I'll put it on it for you. Any symbol. Netflix, NVDA. Okay, let's look at both of those. NFLX, Netflix. Now, what is that priced at? 800. So a 500 to a 750 range would be good. Right, we're on a 500, so that works. And so each one of these is going to give you an indication of which way to go. Let's go all the way back here to today. Right. Again, I'm going to work on eliminating some of these that go back and forth like that. They shouldn't actually be doing that right now. I thought I fixed that. There should be more one directional. All right. This should not be happening right here. I'm pretty sure that there's something that I missed. That should be stopping that from happening right there. But you see what it's doing? It's giving you $5, an indication to move up, and it's giving you $5, $10, $15 in that case. This is about 5. This is about 5, and if you actually get the indication going the opposite like that really quickly, that would be a good time for you to get out. Walmart, Bobby wants to see. Okay, let me do NVIDIA first. Okay, I haven't looked at NVIDIA in a long time. NVDA. What's that price at? $100. Okay, so NVIDIA, you're not gonna want to do on 100 range or a 500 range, right? You see this see the dates down here? These 5 days in between. So with $100 stock, you might want to do that on 100 range, where each bar is $1. Okay, each bar is $1. That would make more sense. Oops, that would make more sense here. Well, I guess I can do that because you don't really need the stuff down there at the bottom. But this is today with NVIDIA. Okay, and again, I'm working on. There should have been. I thought I coded this out so it wouldn't do that. Have that one that immediately goes to that one and goes back to that one. I thought I had it coded out so it wouldn't do that, but I will get that coded out so it doesn't. But you see, it works for everything. And it's going to give you the same indications. And when you're in an uptrend, that's what it looks like. When you're in a downtrend, this is what it looks like. And when the uptrend ends, it should give you an area here where it doesn't do anything and then switches to the downtrend. If I put this on here, that right now is what generates where the targets and stops are. But I have another idea of generating the targets and stops, so I'm not going to use that to generate the targets and stops, because sometimes, if you look at the existing things, they get generated automatically. Sometimes the target is right next to you, and the stop is a little bit away. I wrote some code for that for some of the things. I think for the equities, that actually checks it to see if the stop is smaller than the target, or the stop is bigger than the target, because if it is, it shouldn't print it. But that's the idea, right? It's 319. I just wanted to take a moment here and show you guys what I'm working on with that, and that will be available to you relatively soon. Okay, this stuff will be available to you relatively soon. I'm gonna filter these out some more. It still trades too much. Even the one at the bottom, this down here, I still want to filter that out some too, because that trades a lot too. And Walmart, probably want to look at Walmart. Look at that. Is it WMT? WMT. Okay. Walmart. There it is. Okay, and you can see on 100 range, because it's an $85 stock, 100 range might be too big. See, it's going all the way back to the 4th right here. Now it gave some really nice indications there on the 4th, and on 7th, and on the 7th again, the 7th again. And today, this was the last one today. At 3 o'clock, I said to go long right here. I want to suggest one thing to you guys. If you ever, not so much just with this, but with the other things, if you're looking at things on equities for options, and they give an indication to go long or short at the end of the day, it's the math that's behind it, Mark. Let me just show you that. Okay, if you get an indication, I'm sorry, let me finish the sentence that I was saying. If you get an indication to go long or short at the end of the day, you want to go with that. And if you haven't, if it's options that you're playing, do the 1DTE options, and they'll be priced pretty low at the end of the day to be expiring the next day. And usually by the next morning, you have a really good gain. What I was saying, again, is if you get an indication within the last half hour of the day, like this one right here just said to go long on Walmart. Now, usually if you get that in the last half hour of the day, and you buy, I were to buy a call option right now, by the morning time, when the markets open up, that call option is usually worth, sometimes multiples of what it was. If it is going in the right direction, it'd be worth multiples of what it was. If it doesn't go in the right direction, well then, you took your chance with the call option. Okay, so what's the difference between this and the original target view trades? Well, the original target view trades happen at the beginning of the trend. Let's put one of those on. Okay, let's just put that guy on there. All right, so this happens at the beginning of the trend. This can happen anywhere inside it. All right, the blue one's going to happen at the beginning of the trend when you get a blue color change. Not always when you get a blue color change, but usually when you get a blue color change, you're going to get one at the beginning of a trend, or nearer to the beginning of the trend. But this happens just all over inside there, depend on what the dynamics of the market currently are at that point. Okay, now if you throw the mid-trend trade on here, then it's going to be a little bit like that too. You put the mid-trend trade on. There's different things that are all going together here to create these indications for you. All right. Now the stuff that's going out right now doesn't use a mid-trend trade. The stuff that you see in the well, you guys can't actually even see it. The stuff that's in the Telegram channel in this one right now is using more of the regular TV trade stuff that gets you into the beginning of the trend. Okay, but this thing that I'm showing you right now, you can use on pretty much anything. Like I have it on 100 range here, and I showed you on the 500 range, but you can also use it on a minute chart if you want to. Though I recommend using it on range charts all the time because you know what the risk is every time. But you can see it works pretty well with just using it here as well. Okay. And so if that's the kind of trading that you want to do, then it's available to you to do that. Again, it does use some indications from the trigger, but usually it's the trigger when the trigger passes through the middle is what it's looking at. It's got to pass through the middle, and a bunch of other criteria have to be met for it to give you a trigger. Whereas before you'd have, when the trigger gets into the overbought, you'd go short. And this one right here is when it's passing up through the middle to the overbought, or passing down through the middle to the oversold. So there's all different things that give you different indications. Again, you can use whatever you want if you're swing trading, but with this, the alerts that, like I got one. Where's my phone? Where is my phone? I don't know where my phone is. Well, if I had my phone, I would show you. I would show you what the alerts look like because they're going to my phone too. Like, which one? Just this one down here got sent to my phone a minute ago. All of these get sent to my phone, but that is. Range charts are the best way. You are correct. If I have converted you to range charts, I'm not sorry about that at all. You will find for the rest of your life, whenever you look at a chart, you'll be wishing it was a range chart. Do we have right now the indication that I spoke of to make an end-of-day option plays? You could right now. It's not really at the end of the day, but it is. It's 3:24. You could buy a call right now on a 1 DTE call on Walmart, and by tomorrow morning it'll probably be up here. Okay, it'll probably be at the swing high by tomorrow morning. It could be there by the end of the day, honestly. But that's what you'd be looking at. All right. Now, I keep switching modes in my mind. There's some things that I have to show you. There's some things that I should show you. And there's some things you guys want to see. And I want to find, in my little Venn diagram where they all meet. So, this is what Walmart looks like, Bobby. Okay. And did I do NVDA? I did NVDA, right? And Netflix. And all the other ones. I think I did, right? I am recording this. Yes, okay. The NQ50 range. You want to look at the NQ50 range. We can look at the NQ50 range if you want, Rico. We got so many things working for the NQ. This is the NQ on a 5-minute. This is the NQ on a 50 range. Okay. So it works well, but again, you have this that's working for the NQ50 range down here, and that works really well too. This is going to be okay, you just want to walk through. Okay, you don't want to see this on the NQ50 range. You want to see this on the NQ50 range. That's what you want to see. That's what you're talking about, right? Okay. All right. Well, let me finish the other thing first, and then we'll step back and we'll do that. Okay. All right. So this is what this looks like on the NQ50 range. The indications are good. They're very good no matter what you do it on. But I was thinking for the swing trade stuff, we were going to get out of the futures and get more into ETFs and actual stocks. That's what I was thinking for the swing trade stuff. And swing trades can be options as well. And so, you know, there's like, I don't know, what's JP Morgan? It's over here somewhere. If I click on that thing, don't have it in here. These banking stocks, JPM. So if you look at these banking stocks, you know, they should be really volatile right now, I would think. And they kind of are. See, this one's priced at $235. So 50 range isn't probably good with this. You could do this on a $5 bar, which is a 500 range, or $2.50 bar, you know, which is a 250 range. Just based upon the price of the stock. But for swing trades, you know, I'm thinking more out of futures and into ETFs and into the actual stocks. But you can see here, it's, you know, it's been nailing things really well in here. And if you trade options on individual stocks, they work really well. Okay. Now, there are a couple things, and this is going to cover a few things that that I wanted to do. Let me put the TV trades back on here just so you have the background showing in here. Okay, and let me turn this off for a second. Well, before I turn it off, do you guys have any more questions about the swing trade stuff right now? The way that the alert's going to look is going to be like this down here. Where was it? Right here. It's going to look like this, where it's going to give you a current price with a target and a stop. Okay, you see all that information right inside there. Let me see if I can do this print thing. Now, this is something that I want to talk about with you guys in a few minutes. Okay, but let me do this. I'll do a 3-second delay. And I'll do new, and there it is. Okay. So, this is what I want to just show you right now. The information that is going to be put into the alert will be, when you get an alert, it's going to give you what the current price is at the time of the alert. It's going to give you a target and a stop. Okay. You get to name it, if you want to call it that, when you set the alert. When you create the alert, you get to name it and give it some parameters. But that's the information that I'm going to automatically put in there for you. Okay. When I'm doing it. But when you actually create an alert, this is the way it goes. You come up here and you do use the TV trades SETF. That means swing ETF, and just do any alert function call. Okay. I guess you don't get to name it. Now, right here it says expiration open-ended alert. I have that available to me because I'm a premium. If you guys are premium, then you'll have that open-ended alert would be default, I think. If you're not premium, if you're essential or you're plus, then you have 30-day alerts, I think is what they last for, 30 days. So you're going to have to keep an eye on that. Every 30 days they're going to be expired over here in the alert section. You know, they'll be expired. Look, all these triggered too often today. They'll be expired over there, and you just have to go and reset them. Okay, and resetting them is just simply, you know, updating the date or something like that. Let's see. These are how I chose for the alert to show. This is going to be on my phone. It's going to notify me in the app on my phone. The toast notification, the thing that pops up over here. Send an email, webhook URL. This is what's going to send it to that's a toast notification. The webhook URL, this is what's going to send it to the Telegram channel and a play sound. Now, one of the things I also want to tell you guys, while I got a bunch of you guys in here, is I'm probably going to drop the private web page. All right, it's just become too much of a hassle because anytime I change the password, you know, it's written with what is the thing that I wrote that with? What did I write that with? Whatever I wrote it with, the language that it's written in, and the back end that it's written on. I bought 3 different things for the password, 3 different APIs for the password, and none of them seem to work consistently. And you know, it's because there's so many different browsers and things get changed around with the different browsers. And and so I'm just going to get rid of the web page, the private web page. All the information is going to be in Telegram channels instead of on the private web page. The private web page also does not update automatically. You have to refresh your chart to get the latest stuff on that. So all that information will be in Telegram channels, okay? Because the Telegram channels automate instantly. You know, when you saw that pop up over here, that also went to a Telegram channel. At the same time, it went to my phone and it went to a Telegram channel at the same time. So I'm probably going to drop the private web page, just so you know. The information there isn't. I have to. The way it works is it goes from the code that I wrote to create the alert, then it goes from the alert on here to another application that I bought that does called Trading View to Anywhere, and it'll go from there to a spreadsheet, and then I take it from the spreadsheet and I stick it on the web page. So it's got a lot of steps in between, and it doesn't refresh automatically. Whereas just going to Telegram removes 2 of those steps. All right. That was all that. Now, there's something else that I want to show you guys, something else I want to go over, because this week, you know, I've been trading this week, and these are the results. The results have been pretty good, but I haven't been trading the NQ, all right, because the DOM on the NQ looks like, let me show you what the DOM on the NQ looks like. That's not it. Oh, I guess that is it. Hang on. Yeah. All right, because the DOM on the NQ looks like this. You see the spread in there, and you see all those ones and all the digits that aren't even there. This is the micro NQ. The micro NQ is 4 times as liquid as the regular NQ right now. I would rather trade the micro if I'm going to trade it. I'd rather trade multiple contracts on the micro than trade one contract on the NQ. You know, where I'm trading 10 contracts normally on the NQ, it would take me 100 contracts to get the same value over here on the micro. So I'm not going to do that, right? But no, on the NQ, when I place a trade, it costs me $25 a trade when I have 10 contracts on. You know, that's my costs. If I were to do the same thing over here on the NQ, it would cost twice as much. It'd be $50 a trade. So I'm not going to do that, right? I'm not going to bother with the NQ when it's jumping around like this. But when there's a spread, a huge spread like that, for those of you guys who don't know, if there's a huge spread between the bid and the ask, that is money that you lose as soon as you place a trade, all right? That's just the beginning of the money you lose, because you're never going to get a solid fill at either end. If you place more than one contract, if you trade more than one contract, like for 10, if we just take a moment in time on one of these DOMs, all right, go find the one that I used yesterday. Let me just see if I can do another moment in time here. Where is that thing? Here it is. Okay. So here. The space in between here and here is 2 ticks, so you lose those 2 ticks. And if I try to place 10 contracts, it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So my spread would be, and if it were just me and nobody else, just me and nobody else trading, then at a minimum it would be from here down to here. It would be my fill. All right, if it were just me and nobody else trading. But you know that's not the case. So it's just ridiculous to even try to do that. That's why I've been focusing on the Russell mostly. The Russell's been really tradable. And today we traded gold quite a bit today too. You can see we're up 84 ticks on gold. The overall number of trades, you know, with the markets being as crazy as you think I'd have like an insane number of trades, but I haven't been trading the NQ at all. Look, no NQ trades right here this week. It's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I didn't trade the NQ at all this week, and that was Monday and Tuesday last week. I heard that it got kind of nutty when I wasn't trading last week as well. But so the Russell's been okay. So I've been trading the Russell more than the Russell and gold more than anything else. The ES, you know, if you look at the ES DOM, let me just bring that over and I'll show you. Here's the ES DOM. Okay. No, I'm sorry, this is the NQ. Hang on, let me bring my ES DOM over. Because it's important that you recognize this and you see it and you understand, you know, before you even place a trade. First of all, look in here and you see if there's a spread between the bid and the ask, you probably don't want to trade that market. But the ES is the most liquid market that we trade right now. Bonds are more liquid than ES, but the ES is the most liquid market that we trade. And when I say liquid, I mean it's got the most volume. So you're more likely to get filled where you want to be filled. All right, your stop is less likely to be jumped. And you see how it's bouncing around here? You know, if you have like a 10 tick stop, it's bouncing around 10 ticks like every other second. That was just too much for me. You know, if I was only trading the ES, I would trade it on a larger time frame, and I would be okay with it. But I'm not only trading the ES, so I skipped that too. And I traded the Russell and I traded gold today, and we did pretty well. You know, the Russell we were back and forth on, But the last couple of days we were up pretty good on the Russell. We had some good days on the Russell, or some good trades. Monday we just killed it on the Russell. We just 45. I had 35 trades on the Russell, and 11 of them went to the full profit. And yesterday I had fewer trades, but I had more on the gold and more on the ES yesterday. And today I had a bunch on gold. Actually, the total number of trades: gold I had 15, the Russell I had 10, and the ES I had 2. So I didn't have a bunch of trades altogether in there, but it's been an interesting week, and knowing what not to trade, knowing when not to trade and what not to trade is probably a good thing to know. And just seeing it when you look at the DOM, saying, okay, I can see here that this market is super thin and that there's a spread in it. You know, if you have a 10 tick stop, you're gonna get stopped out as soon as you place an order every time. Every time you place an order, be stopped out, place an order, be stopped out, place an order, be stopped out, every time. That's what I was saying. If you had this on a 30-minute, you could risk 10, you could spare 10 ticks on a 30-minute chart because your stop's going to be 200 ticks. But even then, you're even up 5%. All right. Yes. So far with the with this, you can only do the alerts once I give you the thing. No, Wayne, it'll be built in. The alert will be built in. It'll be a separate thing in here. It'll be like the TV trades. If you go to the alerts on the TV trades, you can choose TV trades and then choose in here all these different alerts. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll create one for you. If I stick this code for this down into here, or if I stick it in the TV trades, I could do it in either one really. And then you'll be able to go in and choose whichever one it is. Like if you choose TV trades and I stick it in TV trades, to be able to go in here and do ETF alert and choose the ETF alert in there like that. Okay. I didn't do this for all of them. I didn't create all these individual ones for all of them because I tried to make it easy. Putting that stuff in there because there's multiple steps to do that. If you come in here, to this, you go to alert, and if you were to choose, let's say, a buy alert, that's going to be the blue candle. The blue arrow. That's your buy alert. Then you also have to choose once per bar close. Give it a custom name if you want to. You have to give it the information that you want to put in here, and then you have to go into notifications to figure out how you want to be notified. So there's multiple steps to that. You can just go with the defaults. You can, but you don't want to do only once. You don't want to do once per bar. You don't want to do once per minute. You want to do once per bar close, because on range bars, nothing happens until bar close. So if you do it once per bar close with a range bar, it happens every time. On bar close, everything happens at once. And that's where you would have to do it. So I prefer to do it where you just, like this one here, we can just go into, going to here and have any alert. Right? Any alert is going to trigger anytime the code that I wrote, it's like 5 lines of code that says if this is true, like I think I made a variable that says go long. It says if go long is true, then do this, and then within there's a couple of lines to put arrows on it for you. All right, so Rico, you've been waiting patiently for me, right? Let's shut that off. Well, yeah, let's just shut that off for now. And we'll shut that off, and I'll put this back on. Okay, now I got a request from somebody to make these lines bigger or different colors, and I think, did I leave that in there? I did. It's right here, isn't it? No, it's not. Crap. I thought I made that something you could change in here. I guess I didn't. I guess I didn't make it editable. Okay, well I'd have to make that editable, but those don't really mean as much anymore. Okay, well, depends what you're looking at. All right, but you're gonna get this arrow at the same time. You're gonna get one of those most of the time. You're gonna get the arrow at the same time, so those aren't as significant as they once were. Okay, but all you have to do, Rico, let me just delete that. Okay, just come in here and go to indicators and put that thing on, and it's on, but you don't have anything up on here. Now I made this super simple because I didn't want you guys to have a lot of options. So just turn that on and turn that on. That's all you have to do. Okay. I made it really simple so you guys didn't have all those other things to go through, and you guys, you might see something and play around with it some and then come up with a question for me and then I could answer a question. Not that I hate answering your questions, but there's a bunch of you guys, and if you all do that, then somebody's going to be disappointed because I'm not going to be able to answer everybody's question. Try trigger is not in your indicators. Kevin, what is your ID, Kevin? I'm sure I have it. You can type it in. I'm the only one who can see what you type in here. Just tell me what your ID is, and I'll set it up for you right quick. Okay. It would be the beta. This is what it looks like. Beta TV trades, try trigger, try range trigger. You had to ask for it. It was in last week's meeting, I think. I said, send me an email and ask for it if you want it. So I'm guessing you want it. And I'll just write your name down and I'll add it for you. Okay, I'll add it for you. It'll be in your invite only section all by itself. Now, the idea is that when you get an indication, the numbers down here, these labels down here, show how far the trigger bar went in the direction of the trade. All right. Now that's just the trigger bar. It's not saying a bar after it or anything like that. It's just the trigger bar. That whole thing is your ID? Okay, let me just, I'm sure I have it somewhere. I'll just add you in a little while, Kevin. Okay, when I'm done with the meeting, I'll add you up. But Rico, it's just the trigger. This tells you to take the trade, the direction you should trade at the open of the next bar. All right. And this number down here doesn't get printed until the bar closes, and you see how far in that direction the bar went. Now, there is one other thing that I added as part of TV trades in here. When you put the TV trades on, by default, it's going to have this one blue thing on there, right? The one blue arrow. You can shut that off right here if you just want to have the background color. But the other thing that I added in the TV trades, in case you guys didn't know, is this right here, the sell profit ticks and the buy profit ticks. Now, what that does, for every single bar, it tells you the distance from the open to the top of the bar and the distance from the open to the bottom of the bar. All right, so we're on 100 range bars here, and the sell profit ticks is the distance from the top to the bottom, and the buy profit ticks is the distance from the open to, the sell profit ticks is the distance from the open to the bottom, and the buy profit ticks is the distance from the open to the top. All right, so this bar right here, you can see the open to the top is 22, and the open to the bottom is 78. This bar, 37 by 63. This bar, 13 by 87. See, I put that information in there for you guys. Let me just write that down, Kevin. All right, let me make another screen print. Hang on. Where's this guy? Here it is. I put that in there because I know you guys, everybody goes back and does the back testing, right? You all go back and do your back testing, and you don't have to go through and manually calculate that every time now. Just put on the TV trades, and by default, it's on there on every single bar. All right. I created it originally just to give you these numbers to fill in these labels, but then I realized you guys probably want that for every bar, and it's really no big deal for me to code it for every bar. One of the questions that I got was these labels run out, and at the end of the labels, I didn't do it down here for this, but for the other one, for this guy, if we turn this one on, you have the white stars and the red stars. TradingView only allows me to print like 35 of these labels, and what these stars show you is that you would have had an indication for a trade there. Okay, like these print after that bar is done. That's how far into profit the bar went from the signal. This is where the signal would have been. This is where the trade would have been. Would have taken the trade there. So this is the signal bar. This is the trigger bar. This is the signal bar. This is the trigger bar. This is the signal bar. Trigger bars. Signal bar. Trigger bar. All right. That's all part of the part of this guy down here. Okay. So, well, not that one. Sorry, the regular one. That one. Now, let's see if I put this all together here for you. Let me just do the whole thing. Yes, I know I haven't changed the password since January. But you see the signal bar and trigger bar. Signal bar, and that's how much profit was in it. Signal bar, and that's how much profit was in it. Signal bar, and that's how much profit was in it. Signal bar, and that's how much profit. Signal bar, that's how much profit. Signal bar, and that's how much profit. That's what that means. Okay, Rico. For this, we're still in beta, yeah. Yeah, because I want to filter it out some. Right? It trades too much. I want to filter it out a little bit. Okay. I always want to make things better. You know, we're on 100 range here on the SPY, so this is not triggering too many times. But if you go back to like the NQ50 range, you know, we'll go to the NQM and we'll put it on a 50. You see how many times it's trading in here? That's a lot of trading. Now today's a little unusual because you had that, you know, the tariff stuff. It's a little unusual, but well. All right. It's 3:48. I have 12 minutes left in here. Now I think I covered the things that I really wanted to. Okay. Yeah, so the beta is the one you're using right now. And that's fine. The beta one is great. You know, it's working really well. I've been getting a lot of good feedback on it. I personally think it trades too much. But I haven't gotten a lot of really good feedback on it. But like between here and here is 5 minutes. 5 minutes. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 trades in 5 minutes. That's a lot. Okay. I want to make sure I answered everybody's questions. Let me scroll back down. I think I did, right? Now, I wanted to see who all is in here today. All right. Terry Wayne. Larry. Okay, there's a couple of people that I think were going to be here that weren't. Anyway, you can all watch this later. Let me just show you where you can watch it later. If you go to Target View Trades, this is TV Trades, right? You go to Target View Trades, this one. TargetViewTrades.com. You'll be able to watch the recording of this later. It'll be right here. If you go to more, upcoming and past webinars, it'll be in here. Okay, this was something that I did Monday, I guess. Did I do that Monday? Was that last week? It was last week. This was last week's meeting. Where I introduced the tier trades beta, the trigger beta. So next week's, this was this week's, and next week's we put here. Okay. I'll try to get this put together today, but the recording of today will be put right here. All right. So to get to that, go to targetviewtrades.com, go to more and upcoming and past webinars. All right. Just want to show you guys that because sometimes I got some people said that the link wasn't working, and the link is going to be right here on the home page of Target View Trades. Right here is where the link is going to be. Okay. So you have to click on that and register. You can still register for this. See, it says join webinar in progress. You can still register and join now if you want. If you haven't already joined. Just kidding. Let me scroll all the way back up to the top and see. I had a cycle indicator in NinjaTrader before. What was the main indicator using? Do you have that indicator in TradingView as well? The cycle. Well, what you're talking about, so what you're talking about is part of something else, and it is. No, it's not that one. Sorry. Let's get rid of that. Get rid of that. It is part of this. this was the cycle, the old one. Okay, the S3 cycle. That's what you're talking about. And no. I mean, we have it in TradingView, but you don't need it in TradingView. Okay, can you get the black arrows now? These black arrows? These black arrows are part of the beta down here, so yes, you can get that. You already have that, Johnny. But this one here, these guys, you can't get those yet. Alright, I'm still working on that one. But these other ones, you already have. Johnny, I set you up so that you already have the beta version. Right, that's those arrows. You see, in some cases they're going to happen sooner, and in some cases they're going to happen where they shouldn't. Either one is good, but you know, I want one to be more for swing trades and one to be more for futures. You don't have it? Okay, well type in your ID too, Johnny. Just type it in and I'll fix both you and Kevin up. I thought I gave that to you already. I could have sworn I did. Alright. I can take a breath. I really, this meeting just like came on me in a matter of seconds. It seemed like. See the information that you get. 19 range, TVT sell, a put, if you were looking to buy puts. Current price, 920 with a target of 600. It's on a 19 range. Wow, that's a big target. The stop on 943. Where is your ID? It's going to be, if you hover over, for me I hover over this and it says logged in as TV trades. Yours is probably over here. You probably have some kind of thing up there that says JZ or something like that. Okay, or some kind of other circle up there. If you hover over it, it says what you're logged in as. And you can give that to me. I'm sure I have your ID somewhere, but it'd be easier if you find it. Then I find it. Okay. So, alright, it is 3:55. I have 5 minutes left. Let's see, do I have any more stuff that I need to show you? Now, we have a bunch of new people, and there's so much stuff, it can be overwhelming. Okay, so you have to tell me, in the beginning, tell me what kind of a trader you are. What kind of trader you want to be. Do you want to be a day trader? Do you want to be a swing trader? Do you want to trade futures? Do you want to trade stocks? Do you want to trade ETFs? Do you want to trade options? If you give me that kind of information at the beginning, then I can help direct you to the stuff that's going to be better for you for those types of things. Okay? If you guys, you know, if you're seeing all this stuff and you're saying, wow, that is just a lot of stuff and I don't know what I want to do. You know, I want to give you options to do everything. I want to get, you know, to trade whatever you want. If you want to trade stocks, if you want to trade penny stocks, if you want to trade, you know, crypto, whatever you want to trade, I want to give you a tool to trade it. And most of the things will work on everything, but there are things that work better on some things. So if you guys, you know, you guys tell me what you're actually looking for, then I can tell you what works best with that type of thing. Okay, what time frame you're looking at, all that sort of information. See this short sheet TV trades. That went to the web page because the web page gets fed from the short sheet. Did you find it, Johnny? I'm pretty sure I have it. I'll be able to look it up if you can't find it. I'm sure. I know I have it. I'll be able to look it up if you can't find it. Alright. You are logged in as... Alright, that's probably what I need for you then, Kevin. Let me look over here on this other screen. I think I have all this information for both of you guys over here. Here, if I do Control F and then search for Kevin, Control F. Oops. And this one, Control F. There it is. Search for Kevin. It's not on that one. There it is, 1 of 3. Hang on. There you are. That is one. The last one you just said right there, Kevin. That's the right one. And Johnny, are you monthly? You are not on the monthly. You are not on the weekly. You're not on the yearly. Johnny, you're not in here. Anyway. Maybe not under Johnny. Let me do it under John. Maybe that's what I'm doing wrong. Oh, there you are. Yep, I got you. Yeah, I got you, Johnny Z. That's it. Okay. So let me make a screenshot of that information right there, because the information I made before was not right. Okay. Alright, I got it. So I'll set you guys up as soon as we're done here with the beta. Does anybody else out there not have the beta that wants the beta? It's the beta for the trigger, the tri-range trigger. That's going to be this stuff down here, and these black arrows right here, right now. If any of you guys don't have that, let me know. Okay, and I'll set you up with it. Again, if you haven't taken a trial and you want to take the trial, go to tvtrades.com, right here, tvtrades.com, and click on any one of these orange buttons. They're all going to bring you down here to the bottom. It's a free 3-day trial. Free 3-day trial. All right, and with that, $25 a week after. If you do that one, $90 a month after. If you do that one, $97 a year after you do that one. I mean, you should be making this money back easily. You know, these here you should be making back each trade, and this one here you should be making back monthly at least, probably weekly, sometimes daily. So I made it really inexpensive for you guys to get started with this. So don't be afraid to get in there and get started. That's it, guys. It is 3:59, and I've said all the stuff that I have to say. This is unusual for me. I usually run over a little bit. That's good, because I got a guy that wants to walk through my house here in a few minutes. So, I will try, Wayne. We'll see. We switched the home health aides hours so that we have nighttime hours with her, so we can call it boat hours. She now comes from 5 to 8:30. All right, we'll see you, Mark. So that is it, guys. With that, I guess I'm going to wrap it up. It is 4 o'clock. If anybody has any questions, you can email support@targetviewtrades.com. Support@targetviewtrades.com. You all have my phone number, right? The 617 number. You all have that number. If you don't have it, email support@targetviewtrades.com and I'll send it to you. This will probably be put out on YouTube, so I'm not going to say my whole phone number out here. You can email support@targetviewtrades.com. And when you get my phone number, most of you guys have it. When you get my phone number, you can text me anytime you want. That's the best way to get a hold of me, is to text me. Okay? Because I usually have my phone with me, and I can respond to text pretty quick, usually. Alright. That is it, guys. Thank you for coming today. Hopefully you got some good information on this. I don't know how to, I think I gave you good information, but I wanted to make that the swing trade stuff available to you today, but it's just not ready. It's just not ready. It's close. I mean, there's been some really nice trades here on the NQ. This is the NQ 50 range. And just right here, since we've been talking, there's been some really nice trades here. But it's just not ready to go yet. Okay? I don't want to give you junk and then claw it back from you, or make you guys lose money, with something that's not going to give you really good trades. Alright, that is it. Thank you all for coming today, and I'm going to stop the recording right now.